Corsair's new Vengeance RGB Pro Series DDR4 memory gives you blazing fast speed and dynamic multi-zone RGB lighting with 10 ultra-bright LEDs per module. Customization options are practically endless with the Corsair iQ software package, and they're available with black or white heat spreaders. Find out more about the Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro Series via the sponsor link in the description.
Excellent!
What's up guys, welcome to Paul's Hardware. Today's video is an exciting one because it's been 2 years, actually over 2 years since NVIDIA launched their 1000 series or their 10 series, the GTX 1080 and 1080 Ti that we have been forced to use as the best and fastest gaming graphics cards for the past couple years. But now we have new graphics cards, the RTX 2080, the RTX 2080 Ti. Yes, they're very expensive and there's ray tracing stuff that may or may not be useful and all that to discuss. But for now, this video is just about the glorious unboxing process. This is the first time. These are the Founders Edition cards directly from NVIDIA that they've sent over. So hopefully you guys will be able to live vicariously through me as I get my first look at these new cards, get them out of the retail packaging. So let's begin. Now, full disclosure, I did already pre-open this box, but I did not open the boxes that are inside, so, I'm just trying to do the full experience here and make it as authentic as possible. Inside we have some pink foam, and at first I was like, wow, this is like an old school product launch. I used to get new graphics cards that were just launching that didn't have any retail packaging yet, and they would always, for some reason, pack it in this pink foam stuff, but all right, we got two GPUs side by side here, 2080, 2080 Ti, pretty much the lineup. Of course, we are expecting there to be third-party add-in board manufacturers that will also have 2080 Ti's and 2080s coming at you very soon, since they're both launching on September 20th. But for now, I just got the Founders Editions. Maybe I'll be coming back to you in the future days with some other unboxings and features of other cards. But there's the Founders Edition retail boxes, looking very similar, I will say, to the Founders Edition retail box for the 10 series, which is right here, at least in shape. They did change the outer design of the box. I will be keeping this on hand so I can give you a little side-by-side comparison. But where do I begin? The 2080 Founders Edition retail price is $800, $799. You might be able to get third-party versions for $100 cheaper than that at $700, whereas the 2080 Ti Founders Edition is retailing for $1,200, $1,199. So that means both of these together is $2,000 worth of graphics cards, at least if you believe NVIDIA's pricing. I'm gonna save the best for last, and we'll start off with the 2080. Honestly, I'm expecting both of these cards to pretty much look exactly the same as far as the cards themselves and the box and stuff. So now we get that nice reveal as we lift it off. Oh, that's different. I do think this is looking just slightly different than what we saw at the press event at Gamescom. I've got a tag on mine. That's new. What's this tag say? Not sure what this tag is. It looks like there's a SKU here for the card itself, and then this is maybe a distinct serial number, but I guess I can pull that off. Before I remove the plasticky packaging bits, let's at least check out what else comes in the box. All right, so similar to their last generation, they are including a DisplayPort to DVI adapter, which is simply because there is no DVI port on this card. So if you have a monitor that only supports DVI, then that is handy to have. And then we got a couple booklets here. The RTX 2080 Quick Start Guide, which is pretty long. Oh, a bunch of different languages. This is just a basic layout of the card showing power connectors and basic hardware installation. So it's all stuff that you've probably seen before. Where to download the drivers, and then a support guide, which I imagine is much different. This is all that safety information and requisite stuff that they have to include when they ship an electronics product. So that's fun, a couple little accessories that come in the box, but onto the GPU itself, which has a lovely assortment of plastic packaging. The RTX 2080 has 2,944 CUDA cores, a core clock of 1,515 megahertz, boost clock at 1710 if you go for the lowly non-Founders Edition versions, or at least that's the standard base clock. Founders Editions are going to have a boost clock of 1800 megahertz. So it'll actually boost up a little bit faster than the supposed $100 cheaper versions that may or may not actually be coming available at some point. Here's a little peel off there though. Do these have the secret peel things on the fans? I think they do. The first pro tip for new RTX 2080 owners is to make sure to peel the plastic off of the central fan hub. as well as the RTX logo. Rounding out the specs though, 8 gigs of GDDR6 memory in this one. That's on a 256-bit interface, so 14 gigabits per second or 448 gigabytes per second total bandwidth. And then probably what's going to be the biggest question is this new cooling solution. The first time that NVIDIA has gone with an open cooling solution with dual fans for their standard Founders Edition card or reference design, however you want to look at it. They are including a nice backplate, which is all silver there. And then if you're looking at the side of the card that you're probably going to get the view of when it's installed in your case, you'll be able to see the back plate. There are 2 power connectors here, which is a 6-pin and an 8-pin, although it looks like the PCB is laid out so that you might be able to enhance it and go 8 and 8, or maybe we'll see that change with the RTX 2080 Ti. There's a GeForce RTX logo on the side here, and I believe that will light up in green. And then we can see some of the fin stacks here for the cooling solution that is beneath, and it does look like it's going to eject some hot air on the bottom and the top of the card, depending on how you look at it. The shroud wraps around the back here, and there's a imprinted NVIDIA logo on that side as well. And then for I/O here on this side, we've got HDMI as well as 3 display ports, and then that USB-C, which can operate as a display port out, or it's also going to support Virtual Link for VR headset connections. Lastly, over on this side, we have a cover for our NVLink connector, and that's the new connection standard for 2-way SLI configurations, which is definitely significantly different in appearance and shape to your standard SLI fingers. And we're going to have special NVLink bridges that go with that too. But I like that the little cap that they've put on here is pretty clean, covered it up, so if you're not using that, blends in nicely with the rest of the shroud. Continuing on with our glorious unboxing, we have the RTX 2080 Ti, which I'm imagining is going to be super different. It is different when it comes to specs and everything. You get 11 gigs of GDDR6 memory with the 2080 Ti on a 352-bit interface. That also gives you an increased memory bandwidth of 660 gigabytes per second. And the box is still the same though, and the shroud is still the same. Although I was right that we have 2 8-pin connectors now instead of the 8+6. Just quickly confirming that our accessory kit is the same except 2080 Ti for the quick start guide, and you do still get that DisplayPort to DVI adapter. Continuing on with some specs though, this one has 4,352 CUDA cores, so significantly higher costs from $800 up to $1,200, and I'm sure we'll debate that more once there are reviews and performance numbers that we can talk about with these. But pretty big jump in costs, but you also get a pretty big jump in CUDA cores too, from 2,944 up to 4,352. Core clock 1350 megahertz, boost clock 1545 megahertz, and the Founders Edition boost clock, which is special, up to 1635 megahertz. And again, base price, if you can find third-party designs that are going to sell for that cheap, should be $1,000, and then this Founders Edition version costs $1,200. Wow! That's the first time that NVIDIA has had a non-Titan GPU that they have tried to charge more than $1,000 for, and they just went right for it, not even like just sticking it to $999 or something. They're like, no, we're going to jump it all the way up to $1,200. And again, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of debates in the coming weeks as to whether or not this is worth the money. I'm inclined to think it's a little overpriced right now, but again, gonna wait to render a final verdict until I can run some benchmarks on this. But other than that, it's pretty much the exact same physical design. I can't tell without doing some disassembly, which I'm not gonna do right now, whether there's any difference to the internals of the cooler, but we still have the 2-fan solution. We still have the open air shroud with the exhausts on either side, and the only real main physical difference here is gonna be the 2 8-pin connectors here versus the 8+6 pin of the RTX 2080. Now, I will say when I was first introduced to these GPUs at the event back in Germany with Gamescom, I was a little on the fence about the design. Maybe just the angles they showed it at, or maybe it's just actually holding it in your hands that gives you a different opinion of it, because this feels very substantial. It's a heavy card. There's a lot of metal going on in this cooling solution itself, so that gives you the impression of a weighty and valuable product, I guess. These are just first impressions though, so this might all go out the window once I do a full review. And once I get to that full review, I will be able to test these new cards, or test and share performance numbers with you, comparing the prior generation to this generation and actual real-world gaming performance. For now though, I can give you a side-by-side comparison of the former Founders Edition card, and this is the GTX 1080. I was going to do the 1080 Ti, but it's actually installed in the system right now. I didn't want to pull it out of there. But there you go, just a quick side-by-side so you can look and let me know in the comments section what you think of the new design versus the old design. Were you a fan of the old design, especially this slightly updated, tessellated version? This design was first sort of conceptualized back when the GTX 690 launched, and then it has made some slight variations over the years, but this is the first time they've gone with a massive and major complete redesign, going with a completely different style of shroud and blower, or non-blower cooler with 2 fans, which again, once we can share performance numbers with you, I'll be able to tell you how effective this cooler actually is. I will say I think I like the shroud better on this one. It has the chromed out RTX logo there, so I guess that's my opinion on that, such as it is. But guys, that pretty much does it for this video. I know this has just been a quick unboxing and kind of light on actual stuff, but the first impression, at least of the coolers, I think has been positive for me. Again, it's going to come down to price versus performance and what you get out of these cards for actual games that you can play right now, but more on that on my upcoming full review video, which should just be in a few days from now. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you want to see those videos when they come out. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video as well, and let me know in the comments section the answers to the questions that I asked you, like what you think of the physical designs of these and the aesthetics. Thanks again for watching this video, guys, and we'll see you next time.